What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today we're going to be doing a video covering the top playbooks in Madden 22. We're going to be going through offensive and defensive playbooks today, some of the popular ones within the community, and some personal recommendations from me. So to start off with today, I want to give a brief tutorial on how to get to your playbooks and change them in franchise mode. You're going to go to your home tab, you're going to go to manage staff, and then you're going to go to team schemes. This is where we're going to be at today, scrolling through the playbooks for you guys to get all the information that you need. And basically, when you scroll through, it's going to give you a breakdown of what the purpose of each playbook is and how many plays and sets they have of each formation. One of the most popular playbooks within the Madden 22 community, and for very good reason, is Kansas City's playbook on offense. Kansas City's and Andy Reid's playbook here is, as it says at the top, built on a power run West Coast scheme, which is not necessarily accurate. It's more built on a passing scheme. This is going to be a playbook that is very pass heavy. If you are a pass heavy player and you want good quick hitting plays downfield, anything from that medium to deep range, even short passing plays and even screen plays mixed in there as well, you're going to be looking for a passing playbook like Andy Reid's in Kansas City. This is one of the top passing playbooks in the game, and one that is kind of a no-brainer that has been in here for the past couple of years with the emergence of Patrick Mahomes and that prolific offense. Another playbook that I've seen a lot of people have success with in recent years is the New York Giants playbook. The New York Giants playbook also has a lot of plays out of shotgun. You guys can see down there 213 plays out of shotgun. It is one that is, pretty pass heavy in consideration to who they have personnel-wise in terms of Saquon Barkley and things like that. But this is a playbook that I've seen a lot of people have passing success with, and one that I think that might not be on the radar of everybody within the community, but might be one that you could consider testing out if you're looking for a good passing playbook. Next up, we're going to talk about running playbooks, and one of the top running playbooks within the game is Las Vegas's. Gruden's playbook is a playbook that can be very run heavy. This is also a playbook that if you like to run multiple tight end sets, this is a playbook that will take advantage of that. The Raiders know how to do that. They're a team that can pass the ball to their tight ends. They can bring tight ends in and run. They can spread tight ends out. They can take tight ends off the field and still be able to run the football and pass the football. It's a really good playbook. It's one of the best playbooks in the game, and it has been for a couple of years now. This is one that I think that a lot of people try to utilize within the community, and it is one that should absolutely be near the top of your list if you're looking for a playbook to use to boost your run game or get something out of your tight ends. Kind of another no-brainer playbook here is Tennessee's. They are a very run-heavy playbook, again, kind of in line with the Raiders there, but this is a playbook that is going to be primarily run-heavy, in my opinion. This has some of the better running plays within the game. This is one that, again, I think a lot of people will know of within the Madden community, probably because a lot of times the playbooks here do reflect the teams in real life. Now, the playbooks aren't always accurate to the plays that are actually run in real life, but they do kind of reflect the tendencies of those teams in real life. This one is a true zone run type of scheme, and this is one that you will have a lot of success with if you have any running capability in terms of your personnel, and one that is kind of a go-to for a lot of run-heavy teams. And then the final playbook here in the running category is actually going to be Vic Fangio's Denver playbook. This is a playbook that I think a lot of people overlook, and this is one that I've been talking about for a couple of years now, is Denver. But this year especially, this is one of the better playbooks out there because it has one of the better run concepts. It has, one of the highest numbers of that run concept within the playbook. This is a playbook that has, I think, 6 or so trap plays within it. Trap plays being one of the most effective types of running concepts within Madden, especially Madden 22. It continues to be very successful, so this is a playbook that should definitely be on your minds. Now, this is a playbook that I run a lot. I have a ton of experience with it personally. I don't love the passing game out of it. It definitely has a capable passing game, but it is very good with your running backs, with your tight ends. You can get a very effective game plan out of Denver's playbook if you recognize the plays that are in it and the plays that are effective that it contains. And then the final playbook that I like to highlight here is actually one that I discovered last year, and that is Minnesota's playbook. Now, this kind of makes sense because they are a pretty run-forward team, but with their quarterback situation and the receivers that they have had there, they throw the ball more than you might think this playbook suggests. When you take a look at Mike Zimmer's playbook here, you can see they only have 150 plays out of shotgun, which is very low. In fact, their biggest set here is single back. They have 12 sets out of single back with a 141 play count out of that. They also introduced 2 sets of strong eye, 2 sets of weak eye, 5 eye formations with 60 plays out of that, a pistol. They like to do a lot of stuff closer to under center than they do out of shotgun here within this playbook. This is a playbook that if you want to be kind of run heavy or you want to be out of heavier formations, that you should absolutely know. That is not necessarily to say that this is going to be a super overpowered run game or this is going to be an overpowered pass game. This is honestly a pretty balanced offense. It is maybe more run heavy than pass heavy, but it is an offense that is more geared toward heavy personnel if that is the type of thing that you like to run. And then the final playbook here is what I like to always refer to as the ultimate balanced game. This is a playbook that has been tried and true for years upon years now, and that is going to be New England's. And that's just obvious because Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, theoretically. Or in reality. And so, there's a lot to be said here for what's going on with his playbooks. Now, they have changed a little bit from year to year, but they contain a lot of the best route combinations, a lot of the best plays to get guys open, things that are designed in this playbook to automatically get players open, and you don't have to do a lot of work with it. And so New England's is always a go-to playbook for a lot of people, especially if they don't know what they want to run, if you're early in a franchise and you don't know how your personnel is going to play. If you go to New England's playbook, it is very balanced. It has a good mix of everything and effective plays within it. And so this is a good playbook to utilize if you're trying to run a balanced offense, if you're trying to get some experience with your team, whatever it might be. New England's playbook is always near the top in terms of the best playbooks out there, and definitely one that you have to know. Now, when we get to the defensive playbooks here, which is the part of the playbook video that I'm going to address now, there's a little bit more freedom here. There are no playbooks that I would consider necessarily overpowered in comparison to others, but there are certain playbooks that community members like to run that have a good balance of formations and whatnot. If you're looking for a traditional 3-4 type of scheme, I always recommend Pittsburgh's, and in addition to Pittsburgh's, if you guys take a look at Baltimore's, they are very similar defenses in the way they are run. They have very similar plays within them. They are slightly different in a couple of ways, but they're very minor ways. If you're looking for a 3-4 scheme, that is kind of the direction to go. Go Pittsburgh or Baltimore. They always have very strong, very attack-heavy defenses that'll get the blitzes going, that'll get the offense confused. Those are playbooks that I like to run on a regular basis, and to be honest with you, it's kind of 50-50. I split my time between Baltimore and Pittsburgh's playbooks because I like them both a lot, and I run 3-4 schemes quite a bit. The next playbook that I want to call your attention to here on defense is actually Washington's defensive playbook. This is a playbook that is definitely going to go under the radar by a lot of people, but this is a playbook that if you like to run mixed schemes can be very effective. And the reason being for this is they have a significant number of plays out of both the 3-4 and the 4-3. A lot of playbooks that you guys will see that have one or the other would be example, maybe Los Angeles Rams playbook, where they have 72 plays out of the 3-4 defense and only 9 plays out of the 4-3. Whereas, you go ahead and you take a look at Washington's, they have 24 out of the 3-4 and 60 out of 4-3. It's very hard to find a playbook that has a good number of plays out of both of those formations, and this is why I like to call attention to this one, because this one is one that I actually started to utilize quite a bit last year because you get a good balance of both of them. This one is also a primarily 3-4 scheme, and a lot of times whenever you're looking for these combo playbooks that run both, they start off with a base 4-3 scheme, and so those are more common. Having the base 3-4 to start changes things up a little bit, especially. Now, in terms of traditional 4-3 scheme defenses, there are quite a few playbooks here that are actually really effective, and 2 of them are back-to-back. 2 that I like quite a bit are actually Minnesota's and San Francisco's. Now, I like San Francisco's a little bit more. I think Minnesota is a very true 4-3 defense, and they run it well. This is a playbook that if you want to run a 4-3 defense, will run it the way that it's supposed to be run and run it effectively. However, San Francisco's playbook I like to call attention to because they have the 5-2. This is a formation that I absolutely adore in Madden. This is a formation that was taken out of a lot of playbooks in prior years. They've added it back to a couple of playbooks this year, and San Francisco's is one of those. San Francisco is a playbook that has been very effective for a couple of years now, and especially adding this 5-2, I can see this being one of, if not the top defensive playbook out here for 4-3 defenses, especially if you have that personnel to get that 5-2 going properly and have 5 pass rushers on the field at once that can be disruptive to the offensive line. And then the final playbook that I actually want to highlight today is Tampa Bay's defense. This is a playbook that is, again, another 3-4 heavy formation, but this is a playbook that I think is going to be very popular within the community, and this is one that may get some love and attention from the EA developers because Tampa Brady, whatever you want to call it, is so good right now. Coming off of a Super Bowl, Tom Brady's still around down there. Their defense has been playing pretty well for the most part. I could see Tampa Bay's defense being a very popular one that is in the tops in terms of how often it's played. So this is one to keep an eye out for and see if other people are playing it, see if it's being used effectively, and if you want to try to experiment with one, I would say Bruce Arians' playbooks, offensively and defensively, are always viable options. So certainly keep that in mind. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. Maybe it brought up some points or some playbooks that you didn't quite know or didn't know about, and gave you some information that you can utilize in terms of picking a playbook, or maybe gave you some more playbook options. If it did, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a good one. See ya.